Well, I had just finished making a video and then all of a sudden I got a notification that I don't think anyone in the world wanted to see. According to reports, former Hawaii star quarterback and college football legend Colt Brennan has passed away. He was only 37 years old and he left a lasting impact on the college football world. I was too young to really watch him, but when you go back to last decade, Colt Brennan was one of the biggest names, and he's one of the best college football quarterbacks to ever exist. He's one of the most inspiring and triumphant stories we've ever seen, and he captivated college football fans no matter what team they rooted for. It's absolutely horrible and heartbreaking to hear that he has passed away, and out of respect for him and his family, part of the proceeds from today's video will go to his family, a GoFundMe page, or any other source I can get a hold of. Obviously, today we're going to talk about Colt Brennan, his story, his incredible career at Hawaii, what happened to him after college, and his tragic downfall. I was just about to drop the video when a key piece of information came out, and I'll update you guys real quick. He was actually found unconscious in a rehab center after he had been there for 5 months, and it's up to you to interpret why he was laying there or how that happened, because at this point we do not know. First, if you love college football content, be sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button so we can support Colt Brennan's family today. Let me know the impact he left on you down in the comment section, and be sure to turn on post notifications so you never miss when I upload. Now let's get started and talk about what happened to Colt Brennan. This is a video I've been suggested to make time after time, and I was eventually going to get to it as my channel got larger, but because of today's circumstances, I thought this is the time to do it. This is the time to honor Colt's career and let everyone know just the kind of impact he had on the college football world and the world in general. Since I want to focus more on his actual college football and pro career, we're going to quickly go through how he became a star to begin with, especially in the high school world. Believe it or not, he actually went to the prestigious Mater Dei High School in California, and while he was there, he was the longtime backup to Matt Leinart. He would end up graduating though, and he'd head to an academy in Massachusetts for a postgraduate year where he would show the skills necessary to become a preferred walk-on for Colorado. The Buffaloes saw enough in him to give him a spot on the team, and he'd spent his freshman year redshirting in 2003. Unfortunately for Colorado, he'd get into a little bit of trouble, and that would end his Buffalo career. Allegedly, he had entered a dorm room and had exposed himself to a female Colorado student, and Brennan of course denied it, but eventually he was convicted on charges of felony burglary and trespassing, but the sexual contact was vacated by the court for lack of evidence. He passed a polygraph test, and he'd get another chance to move on with his football career as he'd eventually head to Saddleback College. While he was at that JUCO school in 2004, he helped lead them to a conference championship where he became a JUCO All-American, the state's Offensive Player of the Year, and a first-team All-Conference player. He had made mistakes in the past and obviously was a good quarterback, so Hawaii head coach would give him a chance, as if he could get his act together, he could be a good player. He'd give him the opportunity to walk on for the Rainbow Warriors. Jones would mentor him and make sure he was on the right path, and because of that, he actually turned down a full scholarship offer to play for San Jose State, and he'd be a walk-on quarterback for the Hawaii Rainbow Warriors, and no one really expected anything out of him, but he would prove everyone wrong. In what many would call a passer-friendly offense, Brennan would impress the coaching staff, and he actually became the starter in 2005. He'd start 10 of the team's 12 games, and he had a very successful first season with the Warriors. He led the country in total offensive yards with 4,455 yards and 35 touchdown passes. It was the 8th best in WAC conference history, and all of a sudden this guy was a young star in the college football world. In 2006, he was on multiple award watch lists and was the preseason conference player of the year. He was so good in 2006 that he passed for 53 touchdowns, which was just one pass short of the Division I record, which was held by quarterback David Klinger of Houston. He would break it though in 2006 during the Hawaii Bowl, as he threw 5 touchdowns and led the Warriors to an 11-3 record. He finished 6th in the Heisman Trophy voting, and he passed for 5,549 yards and 58 touchdowns, both of which were school records. He could have gone to the NFL, but he announced that he would return to Hawaii, and he was the Heisman frontrunner going into the 2007 season. In 2007, he broke the all-time college football record for touchdown passes against number 17 Boise State, as he threw his 122nd in the first quarter. He'd do wonders for Hawaii, as they would beat Washington in their final game of the regular season, and they would go 12-0. They finished number 10 in the AP poll and went to the Sugar Bowl where they'd play Georgia. The Bulldogs absolutely demolished the Rainbow Warriors 41-10, and in Brennan's final collegiate game, he went 22 of 38 for 169 yards and 3 picks. Brennan said after the game, quote, "This is not how I wanted my career to end." It was definitely a tough loss, but he'd still have a spectacular season as he finished 3rd place in the Heisman Trophy voting behind Tim Tebow and Darren McFadden. His numbers did drop a little bit as well, as he only threw for 4,343 yards, 38 touchdowns, and a career-high 17 interceptions. He also ran for 8 more on the ground, but it was good enough for him to be a third-team All-American, an O'Brien Award finalist, and the winner of the Johnny Unitas Golden Arm Award. He finished his Hawaii career with 14,193 yards and 131 touchdowns, and this is the all-time record for most touchdowns. He had the most 400-plus yard games with 20, and he's the 8th most efficient passer in NCAA history. He is the second all-time highest pass completion percentage, and is 6th all-time in total passing yards. The guy was an absolute college football legend, a household name amongst college football fans, and his comeback story from being a walk-on who was kicked out of school to arguably the nation's best quarterback was pretty inspiring, and this definitely had an effect on other players who were either in high school, at a smaller school, or buried on the depth chart. I don't think many expected him to be a franchise quarterback going into the NFL, but he would have a chance to at least play in the league, as a guy who put up that kind of numbers, was that efficient, and that good, always has a place in the NFL, and would at least get a shot. He get drafted in the 6th round, 186 overall by the Washington Redskins, and he was the 10th quarterback selected in that year's draft. In his first NFL exhibition game, he was actually pretty impressive, as he'd go 9 of 10 for 123 yards and 2 touchdowns. He actually had a pretty good preseason, as he was the best rookie. He led all rookies in touchdown passes, passing yards, and QBR throughout the preseason, and maybe he was going to prove everyone wrong. Unfortunately, he would really never get that chance, as he was placed on IR on September 4th, 2009 due to a torn hamstring and a hip injury. Just under a year later, he was released by the Redskins. From there, he'd sign with the Oakland Raiders, but was cut just a few days later. He would never get another NFL chance, as he'd actually go over to the United Football League in 2011, as he played for the Hartford Colonials. Unfortunately, he was cut by them, and then signed to the Saskatchewan Roughriders of the CFL. He never played for them, and was once again released by that organization. His final football endeavor would come with the Los Angeles Kiss of the Arena Football League, but he was cut after being diagnosed with a brain injury resulting from a 2010 car crash. That car crash would end his career, and if we go back to November 19th, while he was a passenger in a car in Hawaii, a car hit them, and it left him with broken ribs and injuries to both his head and his collarbone. He said, quote, "All I know is I woke up 6 or 7 days later, and I was and I still am a different person. I suffered a minor traumatic brain injury, and I now have a small scar on my brain, and this will likely make me more impulsive and emotional. I'm going to have to learn how to control that." This little line right here could unfortunately allude to the future, as we do not know how Colt Brennan passed, but if it made him impulsive and emotional, this could have had an effect on his death. This wouldn't be the first time that he'd get in trouble after this as well, as in 2012, he was arrested for driving under the influence, and he was charged with third-degree promotion of a dangerous drug. He was going more than twice the legal limit for driving a vehicle, and a month later, the cocaine charges were dropped, but he was charged with drunk driving. In 2015, he'd make the news once again, as he had filed a false police report in which he said his vehicle was stolen, but this was blamed on the injuries he sustained in that 2010 car crash. He'd go 4 more years before he'd make the news once again, as he was charged with operating a vehicle under the influence. Finally, just under a year ago on August 1st, he was arrested for trespassing and refusing to leave a hotel in Hawaii while he was heavily intoxicated. He was charged with second-degree trespassing, but according to reports, he did not see jail time. Since then, he has not exactly been in the news, but we got an absolute bomb today, as according to sources, Colt Brennan has died at the age of 37, and the day is May 11th, 2021. I know I could have taken a deeper dive into his high school career, his time in the JUCO system and at Colorado, and I especially could have dove deeper into his Hawaii career and his impact on college football, but today I just wanted to take a quick look at Colt Brennan, quickly go through what happened to him, and the events that spiraled out of control that ultimately may have led to his death. It seems like that 2010 car accident would have a permanent negative effect on his life, and this caused him to get into a lot of legal trouble. Hopefully he is remembered for more than those incidents though, as he really took a place in the hearts of many college football fans, helped elevate the Hawaii program to heights that had never been seen, and went down as one of the greatest players to ever do it. It's horribly unfortunate that he has passed, and my condolences to his family and all his friends who were close with him. It's a sad day for the college football world, and Colt Brennan will never be forgotten. So yeah, as I said earlier, part of the proceeds of today's video will go to his family via GoFundMe or any other source I can find. If you want to support Colt Brennan and this cause, be sure to hit that like button and leave a comment, as it'll help the video get in the algorithm so more people can see this and more money can be donated to their family. If you love college football, be sure to subscribe, as I cover the sport really well and tell a lot of great stories, and you definitely won't want to miss out. Let me know how Colt Brennan impacted you and who your favorite college football player is of all time down in the comment section, and be sure to check out all my other videos, including my video about what happened to Maddie Mock. I hope to see you guys again soon, but until next time, peace.